A brand new £300,000 a week deal is on offer and expected to be signed soon by Bukayo Saka, plus David Raya renewing as well, as Arsenal not only look to win their first Premier League title under Mikel Arteta, but they also look to secure their future by re-signing their top-tier players. We're looking at Liverpool that have also offered a new deal and are in heavy negotiations with Arne Slot. What will their pursuit look like of Mark Gahey? We take a delve into that. Plus, I want to look at Chelsea, who had a brilliant result against Liverpool. Lots of talk about a new goalkeeper, but reports emerging regarding Maignan and their decision to pursue him again. And we're asking the question, who should Man United prioritize in the central midfield areas? Hit that like button. Get yourself subscribing. This is the Done Deal Show. If you were the director of football at Manchester United, who would you be signing to play in the midfield? It's a big question. And a lot of Man United fans are talking about this. Anderson, Yulman, Wharton, Baliba. Their market value is obviously put on the screen. I think that some of these players cost a lot more than their market value. Now, straight away, there's always a kickback. Well, Man United fans think they can get whoever they want. Why would anybody join Manchester United, etc., 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 etc.? And to a degree, I get it. To a degree, I understand it. To a degree, I get where people are coming from. I do. I'm not unaware of those things. I'm not. But United do need to improve that midfield. And I don't think this is about either or either. Oh, should we go for a Wharton? Should we go for an Anderson? Should we go for a Baliba? I think over the January and summer windows, we've got to look towards 2 to 3 midfielders. Genuinely got to look towards two to three midfield players. It's not an either for me. It's where I want to see the vast majority of our money go in that period of time. Now, of course, we know there's a proposed takeover being discussed at the moment. Maybe that changes absolutely everything in that regard. But when you look at that list, you have to look at this and go, well, all these players should be on that list. But I don't think Manchester United fans should be limiting themselves to just one or the other. We should be pushing the club to get multiple. Now, rivals will say, you're never getting them. Why would they come to you? I'm not really getting engaged in those kind of conversations. They said it about Cunha. They said it about Mbumo. They said it about Šeško. It's a little bit futile. There may be other teams that would pick over us. I don't think the majority of those players would stay at their current clubs not to play for Manchester United. But put that side of the debate away, because that isn't what I'm interested in talking about right now. What do Man United need? I'd love to get your views. I'd love to get your opinions on this. Now, moving across to Arsenal. It says here that Arsenal are determined to keep club captain Martin Odegaard by trying to tie him down to a new deal. He'll become the 5th to enter new contract negotiations. And you see this list here, Martin Odegaard, Urian Timber on this list. Of course, there's Saka and there's Raya as well. And I've said this for a while now, and I stand on this. Arsenal's ability, Arsenal's attempts, Arsenal's execution of keeping their best players is maybe one of the biggest and most seismic changes at the club in the last 5 years. And I won't stop beating this drum because I think it's maybe the most undervalued part of this resurgence of Arsenal. I think it may be the most undermined, underappreciated, barely spoke on factor of their club. And the mainstream media are responsible because they never really talk about what really goes into running a football club. It's always about, oh, is the manager special? Is the manager not special? They never go into the granular detail to educate fans. One of Arsenal's biggest hindrance, it was something that I used to really have a go at Arsenal fans for, because they would celebrate net spend. Oh, but our net spend is better. Oh, but our wage bill is smaller. And my thought this goes back many, many years, was, and it was only because one of my best friends, Phil, that's been on the channel before. He's not a YouTuber, been on the show a few times with me when he's been at the house. But he's a gooner, die hard. And when we were kids, when we were young adults, when we were adults, so we were living together still and coming up in life, we was getting football debates with our friends. And if any other gooner said, yeah, you've won this, you've won that. Yes, you've got a better squad right now, but look how much money it's cost you. Look at the salaries you're spending compared to us. He used to do his nut. He'd say, why? Our salary's only good because we refuse to pay, and then all these players join rivals or other clubs and win, and we don't. He said, celebrating good net spend. This was so true. Typically, it's slightly changed, even though net spend ain't real. If you've never watched my shows before, I'm not going into it, and that's for another day. He said, generally back then, your net spend was only good if you didn't spend or if all your best players got sold. Nowadays, there's a way of, if you're sort of developing youth to sell, you can create better net spend if you use that weird term. But back then it was that, and it's always stuck with me. So that's why now when I look at Arsenal and I see them offering the wages that they're now offering to Bukayo Saka, doing their absolute most to renew the contract of David Raya, I think when I listen to the news, and the news will talk about how good a player Raya is, how fantastic Bukayo Saka is, and how much he deserves a new deal. But they seem to completely and utterly miss how fundamentally important it is for these players to have their contracts renewed, to remain as Arsenal players. It just kind of goes under the radar like it's normal. The change isn't focused on. I would love to have the access. I'd love to have the research teams. I'd love to be able to sit down with Arsenal and talk about all these things they've changed internally to get themselves to this point. I would love to do it because that, for me, I know we all love the football and we always want the manager to be praised and seen as the best thing, most important thing at the club and the star players. But I think football fans need to understand more the components of running a football club. I think it would lead to us, maybe this is why the mainstream media don't do it. I think it would lead to us being less hyperbolic. I think it would lead to us being less reactionary. I think it would lead to us being less knee-jerk if we understood things. But I think this is fantastic from an Arsenal perspective. You've got to get Bukayo Saka turned down. Is he worth 300k a week? Yes. He's performing at a world-class level. One of the best players in the world, there's no doubt. The only thing he needs to start cementing a longer-term legacy. He needs to start winning those bigger trophies. He wants to do it with Arsenal. This new deal is great for him. Raya the same. Are Arsenal going to get a better goalkeeper? They're not going to get Alisson. They're not going to get Donnarumma. Raya is every bit as good as Maignan. I just don't see the downside to this. I'd love to get your views on it. I'd love to get your opinions. Are they worth it? How good a look is this for Arsenal with more players signing these new deals? Let us know in the comments section below. Now we're going to move on to Maignan because I mentioned him, and this got my attention this morning. And it's that Chelsea reportedly have ruled out a move for the AC Milan keeper Maignan, and are keen to stick with Robert Sanchez for the foreseeable future. And I saw this and it made my blood boil. Genuinely, it made my blood boil. It made me really, really angry. Really angry. And Rob Sanchez is a good goalkeeper. He'll make some brilliant saves at times. He's a good goalkeeper, but that is what he is. And when I say good, I'm talking about the elite end of the spectrum here, the elite category. He's good within that. Compared to most Championship, League One, League Two goalkeepers, he's fantastic. I'm not comparing him to them. I'm talking about the elite goalies, the biggest clubs in the world. He's good. He's just good. We'll have some real horrendous moments. We'll have some real fantastic moments, but overall, he's good. Maignan is the level above. And I look at Chelsea sometimes and I see the brilliance they have in their midfield, the Caicedos of this world, Lavia when he's fit, and Palmer. I look at what they've brought up front. I like Neto. I think João Pedro's been a revelation. I know he's had the injury, but I think the Lap's got so much to offer this Chelsea team. We've got young players coming through. Esteval looks a wonder kid. And I just look at certain areas and think that you've got a chance again. You've got a run coming up now. Where if you can get yourself into a run, keep yourself a handful of points away from the top, in January, get yourself that world-class goalkeeper, that top-class to world-class goalkeeper. Go out and do that. Maybe go out and get that centre-back that's needed. Go to that next level. But it just sort of appears that they're not going to do that. And I don't quite get why. I don't quite get why. And maybe you can help me with that. Maybe you can help me understand it that little bit better, that little bit more. But Chelsea fans, am I right to be frustrated on it's your behalf? I mean, it's not my club. But I just look at it and go, sure, maybe this is just PR. Maybe they're going to say it, play it down and go in anyway. But a goalkeeper, centre-back, surely this January, with what Clearlake invest, with what Clearlake spend, which is fantastic, they've got to be looking at that. Let me know, people, in the comment section below. Now, we already spoke about this story here about Bukayo Saka, but this was also, so I forgot to put the graphic up. Arsenal are hopeful they can agree the terms during this international break as well. The other thing we want to speak about before the end was Liverpool are keen to hand the new manager Arne Slot a new contract. We spoke about this a lot this week. FSG want to act quickly as they face starting next season with Slot in the final year of his contract. He only got a 3-year deal. There's a risk to give him. I've seen the risks that people are talking about. What if he doesn't improve? What if he gets a new deal by 2 years? So it would then be a 3 and a bit year contract from now, and they don't improve and they have to sack him. That's an extra 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 million in compensation. Should Liverpool take the risk? There's always risk in life, especially when it comes to business decisions. And I think Liverpool should take the risk. I think Liverpool should act on this risk. Just my personal opinion, I think they should. And the reason I think they should is because I think he'll turn it round. And the last thing you want is to get to the end of this season. He's turned it round. You've had a good year. And maybe by then another club has been talking to his agent saying, listen, they don't really respect you. They don't really rate you. We want you to come next season on this seat. Something. We want you to hand in your resignation now, or we're willing to wait. Our manager's going at the end of next season. We want to do a pre-deal now. You don't want to take any of those risks. Give him the new deal. I think what it also does, and even more importantly for Liverpool, I think it sends a message into that dressing room that even if a few of them are going, I'm not too sure about this system, it's not really for me. You give that head coach a new deal, and it sends a message of the club are backing him. All right, well, even if there was this little moment, and I don't think Liverpool have this problem on a dangerous scale, but human beings are human beings are human beings, and there's this little doubt that's creeping in. This pushes it out of their minds. All right, guys, let's knuckle down. We've got to make this work now. The boss is here. He's been backed. FSG is showing us this is the guy. So now we've got to be the team. And I think that's a really important message to send. But look, as ever, I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. I want your opinions on all of this in our comment section below. Like, subscribe, that bell notification as well, though, please. Get that hit. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all soon.